Let's talk about a classic story with a really unsettling idea at its core. It's Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451, and it imagines a world where knowledge is a crime. We're going to follow the main character, Guy Montag, a man whose his job is to burn books.
Yeah, you heard that right. In this vision of the future, the role of a fireman is completely flipped on its head. They're the government's official censors, armed not with water hoses, but with kerosene and flamethrowers, and their target isn't the fire, it's the books, and any house that dares to hide them.
So here's how we're going to trace Guy Montag's story. We'll start with his life in this world that burns, then get to the question that changes everything, follow his search through the ashes, and finally, watch the moment he has to burn it all down himself.
All right, let's dive right in. We start in a world that, seems perfectly fine to the people in it, especially to our main character, Montag. He's a guy who loves the status quo, mostly because he's the one enforcing it.
See, for Montag, this isn't just a job. It's something he genuinely enjoys. He gets this fierce grin on his face as he watches pages curl up and turn to black ash. He even calls the smell of kerosene a kind of perfume. He is, for all intents and purposes, a model citizen in this society.
So yeah, you can basically throw your dictionary out the window here. Our firemen save people. Montag's firemen, they destroy ideas. And that one single twisted fact is pretty much the foundation of his entire world.
And his whole identity is wrapped up in this. The number on his helmet isn't just a random serial number. It's 451. And what's so special about that? Well, that's Fahrenheit 451, the temperature at which paper catches fire and burns. He literally wears his destructive purpose on his head.
But this comfortable, destructive little world he's built for himself, it's all about to get shattered. It starts with a simple question from a new neighbor, and it's followed by a really horrifying discovery when he gets home.
So one night, everything changes. He meets this girl, Clarice, and she's just different. She's not like anyone he's ever met. She's curious. She actually looks at the world around her, notices things like the dew on the grass or the man in the moon. She asks questions.
And she asks him something so simple but so profound that it just stops him cold. 3 words. Are you happy? Nobody asks that. In his world, nobody even thinks about it. And suddenly, Montag realizes he has no idea how to answer.
So that question is just bouncing around in his head as he walks through his front door, and then bam, reality hits him like a ton of bricks. He finds his wife, Mildred, unconscious. She swallowed an entire bottle of sleeping pills. It's the loudest, quietest answer to Clara's question he could have possibly gotten.
And the guys who show up, they aren't doctors. They're just a couple of technicians. They hook her up to these machines that pump her stomach and replace her blood with all the emotion of a couple of plumbers fixing a leaky pipe. It's this chilling look at how little human life actually means in this society.
So as you can probably imagine, that 1-2 punch, the question and the overdose, it completely unravels him. All his old certainties are just gone, and now he's desperate to find something, anything, with real meaning.
So now Montag is caught between these 2 totally different worlds, and they're represented by these 2 women. On one hand, you have Mildred, who's completely lost in her giant TV walls and her fake family, and on the other, you have the memory of Clarice, who, he sadly learns, has died, a person who is all about real connection and real curiosity.
So what does he do? He turns to the very thing he spent his life destroying. Turns out, for years, he's been snagging a book here and there from the fires, kind of on impulse, and hiding them. Now, feeling this huge void in his life, he actually starts to read them, hoping to find some answers.
But you can't just break the biggest rule in society and get away with it. As he's reading, the danger gets real fast. There's a scratching at the door, a sniffing sound. It's the mechanical hound from the fire station, this terrifying robotic spider dog that's built to hunt and kill. He's being watched. They know.
Montag is in way over his head, and he knows it. He's terrified. But then he remembers this brief meeting he had in a park once with an old professor named Faber, a guy who actually talked about ideas and meaning, who remembered the world before the book burning. He realizes Faber might be his only hope.
Okay, so this brings us to the boiling point. This is where his secret life of reading and his public life as a fireman are about to collide in the most violent way you can imagine.
I mean, just imagine this. You're the fireman, secretly hiding a stash of illegal books. The fire alarm blares, you jump on the truck, it tears through the city, and then it slams to a stop right on your own front lawn. It's the ultimate nightmare. Game over.
And his boss, Captain Beatty, is standing there just savoring the moment. Beatty is a really interesting character because he's not just some mindless thug. He's read the books. He quotes them. He knows exactly what Montag was looking for, and he mocks him for it, comparing him to Icarus. He's here to watch him burn.
And then, the ultimate gut punch. His own wife, Mildred, comes running out of the house with a suitcase, not even giving him a glance. She's more worried about her giant TV screens going up in flames. She's the one who turned him in. The betrayal is just absolute. He's completely alone.
What happens next is just pure chaos. Beatty makes Montag take the flamethrower and burn his own house, room by room. Then Beatty finds the secret radio Montag was using to talk to Faber. And that's it. Threatening his new mentor is the last straw. Montag just snaps. He turns the flamethrower on Beatty. Then the mechanical hound attacks, and he fights it off and just runs, becoming the city's most wanted man in about 30 seconds flat.
And in that moment, by burning his house, his boss, his entire past, he's not just destroying things, he's clearing the slate. He had to literally torch the empty shell of a man he used to be, just so a new person, someone who actually thinks and feels, could have a chance to rise from the ashes.
And really, that's the big question the story leaves us with. Montag's journey is pretty extreme, for sure, but it makes you think. In our own world, which is so full of noise and distractions, what are we willing to risk? What are we willing to burn down to find something that feels true and real? What's the real price of knowing?